Guys, I want to talk about the custom estimation tool, just some help that will enable you to be more accurate with what you do. So basically this model is a large commercial project, and some things that I knew, but I don't think I've told you about how to quantify cubic using the custom estimation tool. And you'll notice here that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 products, and I can apply concrete to 7 products. So by going down choosing cubic and typing in con, I can now find concrete. And if I apply that to those products, you'll notice it's turning them off, which means I'm counting as I go. So anything that I see left on the screen means that it doesn't have a quantity associated with it just yet. Because what I did is this geometry was IFC geometry. You'll notice it's on IFC slab. So when I use the IFC import, it imported it and it put it on a tag for me, or a layer, if you like, which enabled me to turn things off and on. And when I'm associating concrete with a custom estimation tool, it has its own category and tag. And therefore, when I select, you'll notice here, I've selected this item here. It's saying that I have 4.8 cubic meters there. So essentially, if I apply that product to that entity, it's gone. Now, when I go inside of here and I select multiple entities, you'll notice, and I can find some that are actually able to associate products to, you'll notice when I select something that has a cubic capacity, it's coming up in the list. However, when I select this one here, notice there's no cubic in my entity info, and then there's no cubic coming up in my list. So the reason why nothing was coming up before is because the IFC geometry that I was importing, notice as I select another one, it's bringing it there. The IFC geometry that imported wasn't manifold, and therefore it means that it's not cubic, and therefore we can't quantify it. So as I'm clicking this, you'll notice that one there didn't work either. So as I go through, I can find out what is correct and what isn't without having to go through and read my entity info all the time. All right, there's a fair bit in here that's not, so I'm going to just apply that to that. And now I'm reducing the amount of data or things that I need to redraw. And essentially, if we looked at that and said, right, okay, so these items, I can go through and select them. That one doesn't have an entity in my list. It doesn't have it in entity info. Therefore, it's not manifold. Therefore, so that one does. That one does. That one does. Yep. And this is common with importing IFC geometry, right? Now, let's just assume that the rest of these aren't. Or what would you do with the items that aren't manifold? How would you go about fixing it? Well, there's a slow way, and that would be to select the item. Well, that one is correct, so I'm going to apply it to that. That one's correct as well. Is to go through and do it manually. Now, there is a plugin which is manifold. I'll see if I can find it for you. So I'll just go to my extensions, extension manager, and you'll notice I have it here called Solid Inspector. Right click, see if I can get Solid Inspector. Here it is. There it is there. And what this does, it actually goes through to find geometry that isn't solid. Let's have a go. Fix. No errors. It now has a cubic capacity now, right? So it's saved me a whole heap of work trying to figure out. See if I can find one. And the manual way of doing this, that one's okay. That one's not. You notice it's going red as soon as I hover over it. Great. It's a great plug-in. Some errors could not automatically fix. Manually inspect and correct the errors. Okay, so this is a good one for us to look at. So I'm going to use Control H, and then I can isolate it. So that was hide rest of model, window, preferences, shortcuts. Control H I use, hide rest of model. And now I need to actually physically look at the model and try and figure out where it is not manifold. And you know why? That looks like a pretty detailed piece of geometry there. Could be really slow, guys, to try and find that. So, you know, That's a tough one. So what you could do is you could break it into pieces. So for instance, if I said, let's make, let's see what we got here. Okay, this is probably easiest. Move, control, right? And then all I'm going to do is just move this apart. Therefore, if I delete this, this, and this, oh, one more here, make group. Notice that's now manifold, so therefore the problem wasn't there. This is a very slow way of doing it, guys. Sometimes it's best just to redraw, and being that it's a chamfered piece of concrete, sometimes it's best to just go inside and select the faces and use the concrete tool. I'm just going to quickly do this. Slab, create slab, give it a thickness and go submit. And therefore I will have a concrete slab inside of there. Now my slab's turned off, I'll turn it back on. You'll notice that I don't have this chamfer and I didn't make it the right depth. So it's not an easy one to fix, guys. Unfortunately, I didn't draw the original model, neither did the subcontractor that sent it to me, but that is a solution. Again, guys, just to recap, if you're utilizing the custom estimation tool, which is here, when you select an entity, let's get outside of this group, it will automatically tell you if it shows up here if it is manifold. Right, these aren't. These aren't. Okay, that one there is. Okay, because I need to give it a cubic here, concrete, because I closed the tool here. Right, and you'll notice that now it's reading those as I go. That one's got it. Yep. Right, apply products, turn that tag off. Now I can see what else I need to do. That one's got it, that one's got it. Right, so it is a manual process, guys. The Solid Inspector is an amazing way to actually go through and inspect what isn't solid, and I'm going to show you that again. Solid Inspector. Go Control A. Now I'm going to find one that isn't manifold, which is here, I believe. There we go. You can see that, and I think that if I go click on things, there we go. It's now highlighting them in red, the ones that are not manifold. All right, so it does help you out a lot. Solid Inspector, I'm pretty sure it's by TomTom, guys. Give it a crack. Fix as many as you can in one go, and the ones that you can't, you have to do it the way I showed you. All right, hope it helps. Cheers. Obviously, just one more thing on that seal, right? If I go into here and now click take off, I'm going to get the cubic capacity of the footings that I have done so far, right? Membrane, trench mesh, everything else concrete, right? That's how you would do a concrete BOQ from a BIM that's been exported as an IFC from Revit. Could be Tekla, could be anything. All right, guys, cheers.